NM State senior Marcel Renteria has turned into a star on the mound for the Aggies. A native of Nogales, Arizona, and a transfer from Pima Community College, Renteria was a little unsure about his baseball future during his senior year of high school.
Coming out of high school, honestly, I didn't think I was going to play. I'd already signed to U of A on a scholarship to study. I was going to go into the medical field, and Pima showed up randomly in one game, I remember, against Pueblo, and came in relief. I wasn't even started, came in relief, struck out the side, and after that game, Coach Heisey came up to me. He was like, hey, we want you to play for us, full scholarship.
While at Pima, Renteria was discovered by the Aggies, and he quickly became a main target for head coach Brian Green and recruiting coordinator Joel Mangra.
Their assistant coach, who we know really well, was one of the first phone calls we made when Brian got the job, and we called him. One of the first guys he recommended was Marcel, and thought he had a huge upside, so he was really competitive, outstanding individual, comes from a great family, and would be a great fit, would be a great steal for us if we could get him to come here.
On his official visit, it was really clear. You know, you never know. You have a good feel. You feel like you have a good connection with kids. We felt like I had a great connection with Marcel. I wanted him in this program really bad just during his official visit. And when you meet his family, that was very clear. But when he came here, there was a comforting feeling about it. You felt like he was one of us.
It was instant. You know, we got along right away. He was easy to talk to. He was somebody that you wanted to call. You know, even after he committed, I mean, you wanted to talk to Marcel, you know.
It was like the most natural meeting. Coming in the visit, seeing Coach Green in the parking lot, it seemed like I was talking to a long-term friend. I wasn't like a coach or I was on a visit. And just the way they presented their vision and telling me that I was going to be a weekend guy, like, I was like flabbergasted because I was like, wow, these guys are, you know, seeing me pitch once and they have all these high expectations, which is pretty cool.
You can't do anything in this life without belief, and that starts with family, and that starts with team first. If you're up on the mound or you're in the box or you're out on the field or if you're in the dugout, when your teammates believe in you, that gives you confidence, and that's what family's all about, and that's what we believe the root of our program is. So for us to believe in him was pretty easy. When he showed up here, we felt like he had the stuff. Coach Mangrum felt like he could make some changes with him and to make him better, which clearly has happened. If you put coaching and you put heart and you put belief and you put get after it and strength, you've got a chance to do anything in life. That's the message to our players on a daily basis, and he's exemplified that.
For me, I think that that believing in him was really the attraction, and the thought that, you know what, like, he's an awesome kid, he comes from an awesome family, we know he works hard, and if he works as hard as what we're told he's going to work, then he's going to work out, and he's going to be pretty special.
I mean, he was talking about me throwing 94, 95, and I had barely even touched 90 in junior college. And he was just like, oh, you have so much in you, you got so much in you, and I hadn't even thought about that. So just the way he was presenting it and just talking about his philosophy and pitching really opened my eyes.
The separator for both myself and Coach Mangrum, there's a lot of guys that are 87, 89. What was the makeup? You talk to this kid on the phone, you meet him in the recruiting process. That's not a surprise as to why that guy goes from 87, 89 to last year hitting 96. That doesn't happen all the time, but what happens is when you have makeup like that, when you have mentality like that, when you have heart like that, and when you meet Marcel's family, that's where it comes from. And for us, we recruit the family. So the first time meeting Marcel, the starting of the recruitment process, when he came here, we wanted him even more. He's a special person. He comes from a special family, and he's what this program embodies and what we want it to be about.
Due to an injury, NM State star right-hander Marcel Renteria had his final season of JUCO ball cut short. Despite that, he arrived on campus at New Mexico State with high expectations for his first year.
When you look at Marcel and what he did, where he came from, you know, he didn't have a sophomore year. He had a back injury, so he had an issue in terms of, you know, he didn't have an opportunity to come in here. And then when he did come in, you know, high expectations is a guy that we really needed to step up. You know, he was a big scholarship guy for us and a guy that we had high expectations for. But the velocity starts to jump. We throw him right into the role, whether it was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, where he was a guy that we needed to show up. And I think Marcel really grew up last year, and he's got a chance to have a great story. You know, when you look at what he did against Bryan on opening weekend, Marcel had a great year for us last year. He was extremely competitive. We could count on him, but his heart would sometimes get in the way. He cares too much, if you can say that about a player, and that's a special attribute to have, but he would put a little too much on himself last year. This year, he's different, and he's made an intent, legitimate, primary focus to be one pitch at a time, and to be quite honest, even selfish up just a little bit on the mound and take a little less pressure off him. A great start to the season.
He's always had the physical ability, even when he was more upper 80s, to get people out. It's just whether or not he believed it. And sometimes he would make the moment too big, maybe even bigger than himself. And I think it's just part of the maturing and growing up and continuing to pitch. Most people forget Marcel didn't get to pitch a whole lot his sophomore year due to a back injury. And so, I just think that a lot of that comes with just playing the game.
Now a senior, Renteria has made vast improvements as he begins his final year of college, catching the eye of his catcher, Mason Fishback.
He's grown a lot, actually. He's starting to command a lot more on both sides of the plate. His two-seam in the righties, away to lefties, is really dominant. It's a really good pitch. And his four-seam fastball has improved a whole bunch, especially away on the corners.
He could come in and shut you down with strikeout as a closer. He can pick you off. He can defend the running game. He can defend the bunting game. And he can also go 6.5, 7 innings for you. So we just expect to give him the ball, put him in a leadership role, and give us the best opportunity to win on weekends.
Definitely a leader. He's always looking out after every guy, picking everybody up, making sure nobody's down, everybody's off the bench. Yeah, he's a great guy.
We're so tight-knit. I mean, besides working hard, everybody pushes each other, like in the weight room, on the field, just off the field. It's a brotherhood and a friendship that I'll never forget.
A native of Nogales, Arizona, Renteria continues to receive constant support from his family and friends, most notably his parents, who often make the trip to Las Cruces for home games.
Growing up, my dad was always like, don't look at me, and he was my coach. We used to get at it with each other sometimes, but now as I grew up, growing up, I would look at him, and sometimes in tough jams, he just nods his head. I know exactly where they sit in the same spot. Hear my mom yelling in Spanish. It's just a great feeling.
Despite this being only his second year in the Crimson and White, Renteria has earned full respect from his head coach, Brian Green.
What you see on the mound is what you see off the field. Team first mentality, give you everything he has. He's not going to hold anything back. He's about heart, he's about family, and he's about as real of a person as you're going to want. He's a guy you're going to want in your corner forever, and I know that he's an Aggie forever.
New Mexico State Aggie Profiles is brought to you by Pepsi, White Sands Federal Credit Union, Memorial Medical, Route 66, and by Wells Fargo.
Baker, a fast break pass for Haley. Back to Huggins inside. Shula lays it in.
Shula battling Vernon, and he wins. Oh, that was a nice move.
And the Aggies with the rebound. Ahead of the pack is Shula running the floor, and one.
Basketball wasn't New Mexico State forward Eli Shula's first love growing up.
I've been a football player ever since, growing up, and about the age of 10, I picked up a basketball, and I started taking basketball serious junior year of high school, and that's when, my first year organized basketball, and then after that, I just fell in love with it.
Shula chose New Mexico State because of former head coach Marvin Menzies and his ties to Southern California.
My travel ball coach, actually, and Marv, had a great relationship, and then after that, me and Marv just had a good relationship, and that's why I chose, and I felt like it's not too far and it's not too close to home. It's away from distractions.
And what a great decision that became. In his freshman year, Shula practiced against and trained with an NBA talent, 2016 first-rounder Pascal Siakam.
I looked up to him. I learned a lot from him, especially playing in the post now. I try to do some of the similar things that he's done. Last year, during the summer, I was watching a lot of film on him, just seeing how he scores in the post and stuff like that, like his motor on rebounding and stuff like that. And I just learned from him, and I just fed off of his energy and experience.
In the wake of Siakam's departure, Shula has fit into that role as a dominating power forward nicely. He is averaging nearly a double-double this season and is one of the nation's leading rebounders.
I would probably say the UMKC game at UMKC. I think I had 20 and 10. And most of those were off offensive rebounds and just playing hard and letting the point guards and the guards find me. And once that happened, I just fell in the role like I can't do this. Like if I work hard and play hard and get offensive rebounds and get second chance points for my team, then it just makes us a better team and makes it easier for us.
Mr. Everything, rebound, score, hold down the interior. We need a lot out of Eli. So he don't have just one specific role. He just have a lot of things we need from him.
He's been an important piece for us. Positionally, played a little bit more on the perimeter last year and willingly accepted coaches' kind of opportunities for him to play more as an interior player around the basket. And he's embraced it, and he's a terrific offensive rebounder.
He's long, he's athletic, and he got a lot of energy.
He has a willingness to pursue the ball and almost has a mentality that every shot that our team takes, is not going to go in, and hopefully it does go in, but he embraces that every shot is a chance to go get a rebound.
Shua's next step in his development is working on defense.
Watching Pascal and being behind Pascal last year, he's a great perimeter defender. On ball screens, if he gets switched onto a smaller guard, he was able to keep him in front, and that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm having a little struggle with it, but P. Weir, he's going to get me right.
I think he has a world of potential, not just as a rebounder or a low post scorer, but in so many other areas of the game.
And as he lurks in the shadows of forwards who have succeeded at New Mexico State, such as Billy Joe Price, James Moore, and Pascal Siakam, Shua plans on making his own stamp in the history books with the Aggies.
Looking back at all the successful power forwards here and how they played and how hard they played, I just want to follow in their footsteps and be able to start something great here just like they did.
NM State junior women's tennis player Rippledeep Kaur comes to the Aggies all the way from India, and how she began playing the sport she now loves is a unique story.
I didn't choose tennis. Tennis kind of came to me. I'm from a very small village from India, and I was in my school when this real estate developer from Canada, his name is Harvinder, he came to my school, and then he asked me, hey kids, I'm going to open a couple tennis courts, who wants to play?
It was really a kind of bizarre situation. We had another Indian player here, Ash Srivastava, who was kind of helping me look through some of the Indian players' videos. And all of a sudden, there she was. And I really think that having another Indian player here made it a little bit more comforting for her.
I talked to Ivan for 11 months before coming here. I talked to a lot of the girls in the team too, which I really liked. I liked the environment. And then there were a couple of members at the tennis center. I spoke to them, and I just loved the people.
Teammate Gabrielle Joyce has quickly trusted Rippledeep on the court and continues to be amazed by her ability.
I trust her way more than I trust myself. So I know if I can't get to a ball, she's usually there. I know that if it's tight, she's not going to crush under pressure. So it's inspiring.
She's amazing at net. Even I'm encouraged to do that, and I'm actually incorporating that in my singles because I'm just more confident with her, the way she moves in, and I want to do that in my singles as well.
Rippledeep was given a chance in the fall to compete in the prestigious ITA Masters event, going up against some of the best competition in the country.
It was her first time going to such a big tournament like that with really good players and tough players, the top in the country. It was really hard for her at the beginning to adjust, but she got a lot of experience out of it. And we worked a lot harder when she came back because she wanted to play those kind of players more.
That tournament was an eye-opener for me, seeing all these amazing players from different conferences, the way they play the tennis, how they are on the court and how they behave, and I kind of like how positive they are, and that's what I grabbed from the tournament. That's what I'm going to do in the spring.
Rippledeep finished the fall season strong, claiming the singles title in early November at the GCU Invitational.
You know, and it was kind of a process. She finished last year with some back injuries, so she really wasn't able to play very much over the summer, wasn't really able to get started in the fall the way that she wanted to. It really kind of motivated her to start working a little bit harder, a little bit more intensity, and she knew that that GCU Invitational was going to be the last tournament of the fall, so she wanted to go out with a bang.
As the spring season gets underway, Rippledeep has some goals in mind.
Winning the WAC is our main goal. It has always been the team goal, just want that ring back.
Off the court, Rippledeep has caught the attention of her coaches and teammates.
Well, I don't know if you'd want me to say this, but...
So Rimple found out that she actually is a poet.
I think she became more of a leader now on the court. The first time that I met her, she was really quiet.
Well, you look at this quiet girl from India.
Again, like, she's really quiet.
She likes gangster rap and raps along with the songs and everything.
She doesn't talk much, but when she does, she's like really hilarious.
And so yeah, that's something pretty charming and pretty interesting about my #1 tennis player.
New Mexico State Aggie Profiles is presented by Route 66, Memorial Medical, Wells Fargo, Pepsi, and by White Sands Federal Credit Union. Growing up in Venezuela, tennis quickly became the first love for current Aggie star junior Christopher Goncalvez.
I started playing when I was 5, 6 years. It's the first sport I practiced and I just liked it. I didn't try any other sport, so in tennis I just feel different when I play it than other sports. I didn't talk to any universities at all, and being from Venezuela and the coach being from the same country as me, I think it's a big plus. It's something that I took in mind, and that's why I choose this place.
He didn't have a whole lot of interest in, not necessarily in New Mexico State, just in coming out here to the United States, period. So it took a lot of work, but his parents were very keen in him coming out here, and we created a pretty good relationship.
The relationship with head coach Carlos Vargas played a big role in Goncalvez moving away from Venezuela to the U.S. for his college years.
First of all, he wasn't all that sold on the idea of moving away from home. That was one, being away from his parents.
Everything is different, the weather, the people, culture, food. Yeah, it's completely different, but I'm getting used to it still. So haven't been that tough.
Once we got busy with tennis and traveling in school, I think he started getting more into it, and he's perfectly adjusted to it.
Big-time success has followed Goncalvez to the U.S., due in large part to his strong work ethic.
Here I practice 2-3 times a day, and I play a lot in the summer. I practice really hard, and when I got here, I just try to be mentally really focused, try to stay calm, and to practice hard. No secrets, to the good season.
They don't have to worry about Kenny giving him 100% or Kenny giving him his best that day. Kenny's always going to do that. So by doing that, he's gained the respect and the support of all his other teammates.
After earning all conference honors, Goncalvez is hoping for a strong junior year to propel his team to the NCAA postseason once again.
So he always tries his best, he always pushes us. That's what he does. He's our captain. He just tries to get everything out of us.
Kenny's a good competitor. Kenny sort of rises up to the occasion. And on the court, he's always going to give you 100%, and he's going to compete like the best of them against the best of them.
You always expect a tough match. The number one of every team, doesn't matter which team is usually really good, and you just expect a tough match and be ready for it.
I think he's going to win a lot of matches. We have a few really hard matches lined up, but I think if he plays good, then he can beat almost everybody that we have lined up.
I think if we practice hard, if we play hard, we can get really far.
Our goals as a team this year is to not only win regular season, but be able to win the conference tournament again. That would be a dream of all of us and me as a coach. I mean, we went from never having won a conference tournament to now having the opportunity again. of winning for the third time.
Try to win as many matches as I can and try to win conference, of course, is always a goal.